It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in today's video, I want to talk about becoming the best Guild War general that you can be. Now, in yesterday's live stream, Wednesday, November the 2nd, I asked for some help, some tips and tricks. I'm not a Guild War general myself. I have some people who run Guild Wars for me because I'm just not good at it, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about what goes through the mind day to day of guild generals, because I just didn't know, and I don't have the experience of it. And you guys really came forward. I got a ton of private messages across all platforms, really some great tips and tricks. And in this video, I want to show 3 really big ones that I think are the basis for everything else. And we'll get into that other ones probably in a part 2 later on. But before we get into all that, I want to mention that I like to do videos about Hero Wars mobile and Facebook and web. This video will generally cover all platforms. So if you're a Facebook player or a mobile player, stick around. Maybe you'll learn something. This might be some basic information for you that are already generals and have been doing it for a while. But you know, if that's the case, maybe just give a like down below, leave a comment on what you find is an incredible tip. So that these other players that are about to become Guild War generals can learn from your experience. So first, what is a Guild War general? Well, a Guild War general is different from a Guild master or a guild leader. The Guild War generals can assign targets, and you can really only assign targets in-game on Facebook and web. Can't really do it on mobile. But a general's task is the same. You wanna control your troops, your champions is what they're called in the game. And the number one absolute thing that you must learn as a Guild War general is to learn how to communicate with your champions. Like I mentioned, Facebook and web, you can assign targets with a little red icon, and that's great, you know, to an extent, unless things need to be adjusted throughout the day. And then you need to notify your people. I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to change that. You can assign targets on mobile, which is kind of crazy, but here we are. You must utilize a tool of some kind in order to communicate with your guild. If you want to be successful, you have to use something other than the in-game chat. The in-game chat is nice for communication, but it doesn't force a notification to your champion's phone to remind them, hey, go do your attacks. Our guild uses Discord, which is a popular internet chat service. My Discord, by the way, linked in the description box down below. But also you could use a Facebook group or WhatsApp or GroupMe, really anything that will help you keep in touch with your guild. The in-game chat is something that I constantly forget to check. Constantly. And if it weren't for my Guild War general, you know, pinging me on Discord, there's a couple of occasions where I might have missed my attacks because I ended up doing something else in the middle of the day, or I forgot, or I had to cancel my live stream for whatever reason, and I end up, you know, just barely getting my attacks in before the day ends. So it's super important to pay attention to your champion's communication needs, and that's kind of the next part of all of this. You want to be familiar with where your champions live in the world and their day-to-day routine. This is tip number 2 for becoming a decent Guild War general. I live in the middle of the United States, right? I live in the Midwest in Missouri, and you know, a good portion of when I'm awake is when the Guild War is active. But what if I worked nights? What if I worked the 3rd shift and I slept through the day? Well, when I was awake, or whenever I had gotten up for my nap, or, you know, whatever, that is when my window would be to make my attacks. Now, if I was one of the crucial champions that needs to take out like the bridge or one of the gates or the bastions, then you know, it might not work out for the timing if I have to hit if I have to take my hits late in the day. So you really want to kind of pay attention to where people live. Have a conversation. It's real simple. Just be like, hey, when do you play? Do you play in the morning? Do you play in the evening? What's your time zone? Right? Maybe I live in Australia. You know, I don't know. You have to communicate with your champions so that you're on the same page. And you know, you'll want to assign targets based on who's available, like I said, at different times of the day. And what better way to keep track of those times than with the sponsor of today's video, IVI watches. IVI is brand new to the market, and I love their Zen Blue Moon watch. I've been wearing it every day since it arrived in the mail, and honestly, it's gone well with just about everything I've done. Hanging around at home, it's light and minimalistic, and I forget I'm wearing it. Going to a restaurant or a bar, it looks way better than the smartwatch that I usually wear. The only place that I haven't really worn it this past week is when I've gone to the gym. And honestly, it does have a little bit of water resistance, so it probably would have been fine. I just didn't really want to take the chance of, scratching it up a little bit. So this would be a perfect holiday gift, and with my coupon code listed in the description, as well as the website listed in the description box down below, you can take 25% off now until Christmas. All right, so check it out. It's a cool watch. The point about the time of day your champions can attack matters because of the battlefield itself. There are certain sections of the Guild War map that are completely inaccessible until other positions are cleared. In fact, a majority of the map cannot be hit until the bridge has been defeated. So the bridge, that's the most important thing. You'll want to have your big heavy hitter champions to attack the bridge because their big heavy hitter champions are going to be defending the bridge. Okay, and you want to have that attack, you want to have that bridge cleared as early in the Guild War day as possible, so that the rest of your champions can make their attacks whenever they need to, based on the time of day. All right, so I talked about when the Guild War window is in a previous video. It's 13 hours on one platform, it's 11 hours on the other. If you haven't seen that video yet about different daily resets, check it out now. I've got it linked in a card at the top. I'll also potentially tag it at the end of this video. But the same thing with the Citadel. If the Citadel isn't opened until after the champions who are supposed to attack the Citadel are asleep, then you're going to miss attacks. Like what if I was supposed to hit one of the spots in the Citadel, but I go to bed at 2 p.m. in the afternoon for whatever reason, or maybe I go to work and I don't have access to my phone at 2 p.m. Well, from 2 p.m. until the end of the Guild War day, which is whenever it is in your local time, I wouldn't have access to the game to be able to make my attacks. So the bridge and the Citadel has to be cleared. I'm sorry, the bridge and one of the bastions or the gates has to be cleared so that I can make my attacks in that Citadel within that window. And this all boils back to communication. Point number one, communication is the most important thing, guys. Most important thing. All right. And like I said, this is just part one. I feel like I could talk about Guild War generals at least one or two more videos, but I think this is the basis of everything. If you have conversations with your champions about where they are and when they can attack, I think you're going to be head and shoulders above a lot of guilds that are out there that are just trying their best without having any conversation, just throwing attacks out there willy-nilly. And maybe you're not a general or a champion just yet and are just looking for ways to be the best guild member you can be. And if that's the case, on screen now are 2 videos about what you can do day to day in order to be the best guild member you can be to help your guild succeed. Check those videos out and let me know what you think about them. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback about this video and potentially the next video. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.